due out today. The main sticking points will reportedly pay over programming over the internet and on DVD. Hopes are high this morning since the new deal could rev up the business and boost the local economy. About this deal right now is Jonathan Handel. He is an entertainment attorney who has been covering these negotiations very closely. Jonathan, thanks for joining us on Sunday LA.
Well, it's a pleasure.
First question for you. The actors got something in that they got the synchronicity that you've been writing about. The contract ends at the same time as the writers and directors, which gives this overall bargaining power when the contract ends. But they didn't get stuff as well. What did they not get?
Well, they gave up a bunch of stuff, and I have been covering this on my blog, jhandel.com. They gave up, first of all, a compromise, some force majeure claims, which is money they would have gotten and aren't going to get as much, perhaps, because of the Writers Guild strike. In other words, the actors were out of work. They also gave up 10 months' worth of increases. And in fact, their minimums now are going to be 3.5% behind AFTRA's for at least the next 2 years. AFTRA, of course, covers TV as well.
So AFTRA's ahead of them right now.
AFTRA's ahead of them right now. That's right.
Okay. And, of course, the hardliners were holding out for residuals for original programming on the Internet. There's none of that.
There's none of that. The irony is the stalemate was caused by an objection to the new media deal by the hardliners, as you say, and none of that was improved. You know, the deal that they could have had 10 months ago in many ways is better than what they're getting now. And in new media, it's the same, and it's the same as what the other guilds got.
You believe the hardliners made it worse. Why?
Well, because they really fiddled while the calendar burned. And this issue of expiration date, that for SAG to get the synchronicity, they had to give up other things for it. That issue didn't exist 10 months ago. The contracts were going to expire simultaneously. But as the calendar progressed, of course, time was wasting.
Okay, and you have the previous agreement as well as...
Well, I do. The existing SAG agreements, you can see, are hundreds of pages, and there's a theatrical, there's a TV, and then this is the offer, about 50 pages or so, that they could have had 10 months ago, and the current one is not, as I say, is not terribly different.
What about the hardliners' belief that if you give, and they're going to protest this particular agreement, though they're not going to win, right? Because
the union, people want to work, and the economy's gotten worse. The economy fell out from under their feet in the last 10 months, and so yeah, the deal will pass. It only requires a simple 50% majority, but there is definitely going to be a fight. The hardliners have pledged.
What about their argument that this is the same as the DVD? They got a bad deal on DVD, and they lost out on a lot of residuals, the actors did, and by not getting the residuals now on the Internet, that's something they'll never get, and they'll get a bad deal on that as well.
Well, you know, by getting synchronicity in 2 years, you've got the directors, the writers, AFTRA, and SAG together. They'll have bargaining leverage to hopefully make improvements there. It's not an invalid criticism that they're making. That DVD home video deal is 25 years old, and it's a bad deal, never got better. But, you know, without any leverage, SAG really drove AFTRA out of the room and allowed the management to split the two unions. Without leverage, they were overplaying a weak hand.
Finally, how much did this holdout and the threat of a strike set back the industry? I mean, the writers' strike is widely believed to have really just set things back, and right. What about this one?
Well, it set back both the industry and the union. The union is now very weakened and is in economic trouble, and the industry as a whole, you know, feature film production has been mostly halted. Some people have lost their jobs, some people have lost their homes. It's a tough time for the industry.
Okay. Jonathan Handel, thanks so much for joining us on Sunday LA, talking about the agreement. There is a board meeting today, I believe, to go over this. It still needs to be ratified by the membership. We will keep you up to date on that. Coming up, we'll talk about the Subway to the Sea public meetings underway on that. You're watching Sunday LA.